Hello. Hey, we did it. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in, everybody. Lady, thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Matt Glad, good luck at work. You probably don't see this, but that's okay. I reinstalled some audio software, and this was a few days ago. And I remembered right as I sat down just before going live, and I was like, you know what? I forgot to test the mic. So at least I knew going in what was about to happen. Pro streamer to the end is what I always say. Here I am. Hello, everybody. We're starting Deltarune Chapter 3 today. My plan for Deltarune is obviously going to stream it tonight. Based on prior streams of Deltarune, it is exceedingly unlikely that we will finish it tonight. So what I'm going to try to do is record the other playthroughs or the subsequent playthroughs of this chapter locally and put them on YouTube, which I don't know if I've ever linked my YouTube here. I used to put stream VODs up there, and then I decided, well, nobody watches those, so nobody cares. So, so I stopped doing that. But I'm gonna put the rest of the Deltarune streams and, I guess, off-stream playthroughs on there. The Trader, I love your optimism. There is no such command. There is no such command. Also, hello, welcome in. So anyway, I'll get that sorted out. You failed me for the last time, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's not the line, but it's close enough. So yeah, we will do that. So I think what I may do going forward is if there's going to be a game that we're gonna play solely on stream as opposed to me just playing it on stream and off stream, yada yada, I'll try to put those on YouTube so we have them completed. So unfortunately that means we won't have chapters 1 and 2 of Deltarune, but alas, what can you do? We'll see how that goes. I'm still working with Arnim Havoc to finish Styx Shards of Darkness. I can never remember the subtitles of those games. But scheduling makes things haphazard at best. So we'll be bopping between Deltarune and Styx for the next probably several weeks. And then I put this in the Discord. Trainer, if you want to hit !Discord. We're going to start replaying Xbox 360 games, revisiting them. Thank you. Revisiting them, playing some for the first time, and I have a whole list of games that I want to revisit. It's a hefty list, and with the amount that I am playing these days, I have no illusions about how long this will take. I reserve the right to stop this at any time. And interject other games in the meantime as I see fit, but I think it'll be fun to revisit a bunch of Xbox 360 games. The Xbox 360 was the first console that I bought as an adult with my own grown-up money. The only console I had before that was the Sega Genesis. I was playing on PC before that, but I have a lot of fondness and nostalgia for the Xbox 360 era. That is the console through which I met my now wife. So, you know, positive memories for that. And we have an Xbox 360. So for the games that require an Xbox 360, I will attempt to stream directly from the hardware. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea how finicky that may or may not be. I've considered getting an Xbox One just for the Xbox 360 backward compatibility. But as long as the 360 itself actually works, that seems like money that I don't need to spend. So that's the vague plan. But yes, if you're not in the Discord, please join. Just before stream, a conversation on clam chowder somehow morphed into a rumination on Dadaist art and urinals. So if that sounds like a good time to you, please join the Discord. How are y'all doing? How are things? How was your weekend? I went to the coast on Sunday, hence the aforementioned clam chowder. I started book 5 of the Wheel of Time. We're cranking through it. This week, I have a discussion with my neighborhood book club about Red Rising by Pierce Brown, a book that I hated. I did not finish it. I've recently started rating books that I read on Storygraph. I used to not do that. If I had finished Red Rising, I would have given it 1 star. But I feel like it's unlikely I would ever finish a book that's only 1 star. So that may never happen. We'll see. I really dislike that book. There's some cool sci-fi stuff in it. But it felt like it's not a young adult book, but it feels like it's written for like a middle schooler or like high schooler, I guess. Oh, speaking of which, your son had his high school tour. I remember my high school tour. I was so nervous starting high school. But you know, they give you that tour ahead of time so you can like kind of find your way to your classes without the pressure of having a bunch of scary, you know, older kids around, which was nice. Daughter's getting ready for senior prom. Heck yeah. My niece is also graduating this year. We got her invitation to her graduation, which is wild. Time flies. Which makes me realize that your daughter and my niece must be the same age, lady. Yeah, time flies. The implacable march of time comes for us all in the end, it turns out. Yeah, time doth, indeedeth it doeth. Oh, well, that's exciting. That's exciting. I won't tell, I promise. I was probably going to get my niece like a card with some money or something. I'm not getting her a card. Nice. My niece turns 18 next month. And we're actually going to go out. We're not going to visit for the graduation, but we are going to go visit for her birthday. So that'll be a good time. Obviously, that means I'll probably miss a couple streams. We're flying like a Tuesday to Tuesday situation, so that's like 2 streams that we'll have to miss, unfortunately. My first car, we'll do a free Sean lore. I think I've told the story before. My first car was a 1987 4-cylinder automatic Ford Mustang. It was not a fast car, but it looked like it, except for the rust all over it. The very first check I ever had to write was to replace the gas tank in that Mustang, because only a few weeks after I got the car, I realized the gas tank was like leaky. It just had a hole. I'm sure it just rusted through. It was a piece of crap. It traumatized me more than a few times, but I have some vivid memories from that car, so it wasn't all bad. God, okay. I try not to get lost in like nostalgia and memories, but I did kind of space out there for like a half second, so apologies. Yeah, right, Trader. Like, I mean, there's always those rich kids who get like the nice new cars for their sweet 16 or their graduation present or whatever. That wasn't us. That wasn't us. And I'm okay with it. Uh, I didn't even get my license right away, or as soon as I was able, because I was a lonely kid with no friends, so I didn't really have anywhere to go until I had a job, and then I needed wheels to get places. Um, nice. No, see, that's great, lady. You're trying to give your kids better than you had growing up. That's all we can hope for, really. She also doesn't have a license yet. Nice. Yeah, I don't remember if I was 17 or 18 when I did end up getting my license. But it was at least a year after I could have theoretically gotten my license. But yeah, no, living in suburban Maryland, you do need a car to get around to things. So I didn't put it off. Too long. Family also all pitched in, got her a bigger 3D printer. Heck yeah. What kind of stuff is she printing? My problem with things like that is that I would have no idea what to do with it. So I've never like looked into getting one, but I'm a person who does what he's told rather than comes up with creative ideas for myself. So that's just part of who I am. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna get my niece for graduation. Like I said, probably just a card with money or something. But who can say? Harrow is not with us yet. I hope that he joins in. Maybe even Griddle. Griddle started laying in this cat bed over here. So maybe we'll get both tonight if we're lucky. They went to the vet today for their shots, and Harrow was kind of checked up for his asthma, and the doctor thinks it's decently under control, even though he still has an asthma attack maybe once a week, which is not pleasant to watch. Also, Griddle is apparently right on the cusp of being overweight, so we might have to take our food down just a notch, but otherwise they're doing great. Apparently the vet thinks they're both doing well, so that makes me feel good. You help your friend. Oh, you help your friends who are doll makers, so you print a lot for that, but mostly fidgets, and her printer was tiny. Oh, she wants to be able to sell prints. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I have recently been acquiring more fidget toys. Reaching over to my other desk. So recently gotten this thing. I don't know how well the camera shows it, but it kind of sparkles prettily in the light, and then it like does this. And like just doing this is extremely satisfying. And then I can't reach them, but I've got a little wooden what are they called? A compass? Yeah, like a compass. You just twirl on, on a tabletop. Got hold on. Got these like magnetic polygonal things that have kind of this soft rubbery coating on them, so they're kind of fun to just like, I don't know, you just kind of roll them around in your hand, and they don't do much. They're not quite as satisfying as some of the other ones that we got. She just printed infinity cubes and what's called ouchies. I would like to know what both of those things are. We have a thing, it's not in here. Man, how do I describe this thing? It's a 3D printed fidget toy, I guess, where it's got a bunch of like like if you're looking at it from the top or the bottom, it's kind of like this jagged little circle-y thing with concentric smaller pieces that go in, and then you can lift it up, and because they're kind of concentric pieces, they kind of lift up kind of pyramidally, and and it feels very satisfying. It sounds very satisfying as you like lift it up and down. um yeah, go for it, lady. Infinity Cube fidget toy stress relieving fidgeting game. Oh man. Oh, this like unfolds and reconfigures itself. Yeah. That reminds me of, I feel like I used to see similar things as a kid. They would be made of wood, but they would be connected with like rubber bands or like kind of vinyl bands, and you could like unfold it and fold it back up, and it was kind of springy. It looks very similar to that. And then what do we have here? New little ouchies pain fidget. Interesting. Oh, I would very much like to play with these. It's just like the texture just looks fun, right? Like, or at least satisfying. If I remember when we go on a break later, we will I'll bring up the toy that I'm talking about, because I'm sure I did not describe it well. But yeah, no, I am a big fan of these things. I don't know if they were something I could have used growing up, but I certainly get a lot of enjoyment out of them now in my 40s. So the thought behind the ouchie is that if you're having a panic attack or you feel one coming on, you squeeze that, and the pain signals interrupt as a nervous system override. Interesting. That's so fascinating to me. Like, I don't think I've ever had a panic attack, but the idea that like we figured out how to maybe prevent them before they really get going is like really cool to me. Interesting. Sour candy, man. It's kind of a bummer that we need to do something unpleasant to ourselves in order to kind of, take the wind out of the sails, so to speak. But yeah, like a warhead, like something like physically repulsive. um yeah, interesting. Okay. um that's cool. I'm glad those things exist. And yeah, I'm glad that we've all just collectively become okay with um these kinds of fidget toys and stim aids and stuff. Your daughter explained it as they're both negatives, so panic attack is negative and the sour candy is negative, and they neutralize each other. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, sour candy is negative, but it's not gonna last as long as a panic attack, hopefully. So yeah, that's very interesting. See, that's why I like streaming. I learn things from y'all that I never would. I would never have a reason to learn these things otherwise. Um, yeah, I believe it. I have a really good friend who um only learned he's autistic. I think he said like a couple years ago, or at least he got diagnosed like just a few years ago. And he's older than me. He's I think he's in his 50s. And so he told me this, a while ago. Later on, we're having a different conversation where he's like, yeah, when I was a kid, I collected Coke cans. I had hundreds of Coke cans, and I would just keep them in my room stacked up, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Coke cans. And I told my mom to keep them when I moved out. And when I finally got married, my mom was like, do you want these Coke cans? And I finally got rid of them. And I said, oh, so it only took you to a couple years ago to realize you were on the spectrum. He laughed really hard at that. He apparently had like 700 Coke cans that he just collected, um, which is just a glorious thing to imagine, I think. But yeah, my dad was telling me he wonders if he's on the spectrum. It's not the kind of thing that he has any interest in actually getting diagnosed with at this point in his life, but it's distressing when you think about how many people have gone through life, you know, over the centuries struggling and having no way of understanding what's going on in their own head, you know, or and lack the coping mechanisms. Your son collects stuffies, mostly Pokemon, Mario, and Minecraft characters. Yeah, I collected. I had a big, well, big for me when I was a little kid. I had a dresser, you know, just a freestanding dresser. It was like painted a bright blue, and the drawers were painted like bright white. And for many years, I would collect stickers and then stick them on the doors, well, not even the drawers, but just all over this dresser. So by the time I got rid of it, sometime after high school, it was just like completely covered. Like every inch of it was covered in stickers. And that was my weird obsessive thing that I was randomly into back when Sean was very little and cuter. Yeah, we're all doing our best, and that's okay. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to stop the music right as the song ended, but I feel like that's a good time to segue to the video game. You just make dolls and collect the things your kids give me. You're a collector by proxy. You just sort of, you know, I feel like that's a pretty normal mom thing. So Trader collects children. That's his his collection thing. All right, we're gonna start chapter 3. Oh, that's loud and mildly unpleasant. 8 makes kids and collects dolls. Hell yeah. Yeah, you make kids and collect dolls. Okay, let's do it. Unsettling breathing commences. Love that. Hey, it's our best good friend Susie. Lost one and acquired another. Have you acquired another, lady? Huh? Oh. Oh, that's... You have? Congratulations. Amazing. Amazing. I'm very happy to hear this. So, chapters 1 and 2 of this video game have ended with our main character Chris turning all creepy like and you know, being creepy. So this opening to chapter 3 is extremely unsettling to me. Chris, hey, wake up. Oh, okay. I love that. I love that, lady. And I'm very sorry to hear about your son, but I love that you've collected your daughter's friend. That's just delightful. We're in the dark world. The hell did this happen? Well, who cares? This means another adventure, right? I don't know. This looks like Creepy Chris to me. Let's see what else is around. Oh, okay. Dude, you know we can run, right? What are you still walking everywhere for? Oh. Weird. Plants and or creatures that are probably going to wake up. Yeah, they woke up. They woke up. It sneezed. It's a couch for sleeping. The couch is asleep too. Oh, look, you can see like its little eyes are closed. A stale wind. You stifle a sneeze. You are filled with the power of not sneezing. We're in a weird dreamland. Okay, we slide down. Oh. Is everything asleep in here? Well, hello. Mm-hmm. Wait for me! Rousey! I felt a dark presence and hurried here. If we keep going, the dark fountain should be... Hey, Rousey! You're not gonna believe what I did after our adventure yesterday. After we saved the world, I went over to Chris's, almost baked an entire pie, and then marathon movies all night. I mean, that sounds like a pretty great night. Oh, Susie, sounds like you had a wonderful time. Yeah, it wasn't awful, I guess. I want to hear all about it. Let's just get going first. Oh, yeah. Okay. Are we gonna fight that? Oh. Okay. Interesting. The little wavy ding-dongs are mildly unsettling? Upsetting? Unsettling? Got little teddy bears and shadows, it seems. Anyway, so I've been thinking about some of those movies last night. Think you could survive Blood Crushers 2, Rousey? I don't know. I've never seen a movie. Really? Hello. Are you gonna sneeze for me? Oh. Hello. Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Would you want to? Huh? You know, come watch next time. Movies. Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh. Oh. Okay, well, we're gonna go this way first. Oh. Oh. You open the chest. Inside was 10 points. This is new. Now we're keeping score. And then, like, it doesn't have to just be movies, you know? You could even, like, go to school with us. Then we could get him to do our homework, right, Chris? I'd love to do your homework, Susie. Rousey, don't give in. A puzzle. Oh. Okay, well, I don't entirely know what we did there, but... And then, like, best idea for last. So there's this festival in a few days, right? And maybe it's stupid, but would it be kind of fun if we all went? I think it'd be fun, Susie. Oh, okay, well, something just took our picture. By all, I mean Ralsei too, obviously. Susie, I'd like nothing more. I'd like nothing more than to go, Susie. But But you what? I don't think I could. Yeah, I mean, it was... The festival's kind of stupid, you know? I mean, obviously. Just, I mean, we don't even have to play any games. We could just make a mess, cause some trouble. Just... I don't know, could be fun if you just went, you know? No, Susie, I want to. I don't think she can leave this place. I can't go. Did I say something weird? No, not at all, Susie. I'm happy to be invited by you, Susie. I am. It's just... I'm a darkener. I can't go to the light world. Causing trouble sounds like the right choice here. Yeah, agreed. Even if I wanted to. Why? Because we... Susie, it's hard for me to explain this, but... Lore dump, perhaps? You see, Susie, you and Chris live in the light world. A place where everything is as you see. That is, as long as there's light. You see, when it gets dark, things become more indistinct. A chair can look like a monster. A poster can look like it's moving. Your eyes can't see the truth anymore. And when the light runs out, you see nothing. Of course, your mind can't make anything of nothing. But what if? What if it became even darker? Darker than dark. What if we could take away the light that wasn't there? Until we reached another side. If that were to happen, you could start to see things again. And hear them. And feel them. Creepy. That is the Dark World, Susie. An alternate view of reality through the lens of shadow. In other words, an illusion. The dark fountains change everything into a fantasy. I have questions. In the light world, in reality, Lancer is just an average playing card. Queen is just a laptop. In other words, when the lights come back on, this world is no longer real. The places you go, the people you meet, none of them are. Even I, the one telling you this, I too am. But Rousey, how can you say you're not real? I can see you. I can feel you. I can hear you. Normal objects don't have feelings and stuff. That's right, Susie. They shouldn't. That's why I don't want you and Chris to worry too much about us, okay? It's funny, I was overjoyed to make friends. Then, selfishly, I started feeling sad, too. Sad I couldn't be your friend in real life, Susie. That I can't do your homework. That I can't go with you. That I can't be there to really help you when you really need me. Rousey? I'm sorry. That's why if you know me, Lancer, we can't do it all. So if you ever feel like we're not enough, just forget about us and make some real friends, okay? Absolutely not. Rousey, you idiot. How can you say that? You think I could just forget you? Forget Lancer? Forget everyone? I don't care what you say you are. You're real to me, okay? Susie, I'm happy to hear that, but shut up and listen to me. No matter what you say, no matter what you are, me, you, Chris, we're a team, all right? None of us are going to forget each other. So please, just... Wow, what an amazing performance! The audience has been brought to tears, folks! Who the heck are you? I was hoping you'd ask. Mike playing the VHS. All right, we're going full retro here. Oh my god. Oh, what lovely contestants we've got today, folks. Contestants? Oh no. Yes, you three are the stars of today's show. Mr. Tana's Marvelous Mystery Board. TV time. I suddenly feel like we're in a LucasArts adventure game. What? What the hell are you doing? What am I doing? You should be wondering what you're doing. You're about to play the greatest game of your life. Answer crazy questions, pass physical challenges, and you'll all win some TV-tastic prizes. Look. It's too fast, I can't read it. Hey, I didn't agree to, and that's not all. Hey, Dr. Tenneville, what's today's prescription? Why, it looks like a prescription for 1 grand prize. That's right, today's grand prize is this season's most popular item. Encased in our patented mystery ball that is legally distinct from a Pokeball. This Dark World's one and greatest treasure. Hey, but you want to know what's inside, don't you, folks? Well, great news, Cadoos and Cadets. Everything can be yours. All you have to do is win. Okay, I thought you were going to say something else. Wow, I've never seen the funometer like this, folks. Now don't touch that dial, because tonight we are going to have one heck. Who the hell is we? Well, this is a game show, and you guys are the contestants, right? Let me be a little clearer. We aren't being on your stupid show. You aren't? Oh, well, that's just... that's just hunky-doody, you know? You do you. Meanwhile, I, guess it'll just be me and the logo. Susie? What? Susie, I know I can't go to the festival with you, but if I can, I still want to have fun with you and Chris. Rousey, maybe we could just try playing this game. If we can't watch TV, maybe we can be on it? Alright, fine. We'll give it a shot. You'll give it a shot? My game? I guess. Oh, you will! Oh, you thrill! Mike, the lights, the sounds, the whatsits, the doosits. Turn them all on. And get me a cup of coffee. Right over here, ladies and germs. Or, well, okay, we can't go off screen. So many lights. Huh? It's a reminder manual I was revising. How to get here exactly? All right, let's read it. Spare enemies, use pacify. And remember, Susie and Ralsei's S action and R action too. Okay. Okay, well that's hilarious. What's an autograph? Yeah, let's sign. In shock. Hello. Chris, this world doesn't take cash. Instead, you'll earn points. Ah. So how about one less chance to use your money? Oh, buy a TV dinner for $250? Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, let's just buy a bunch of dinners. Yep. We're just gonna trust the game that they wouldn't screw me over by allowing me to use up all my money when I could use it later. Yep. Yes. Okay. I expect there will be no downsides to doing that. You hear the audience whispering in awe at your presence. You are filled with the power of undeserved fame. Everyone pose! Yeah, this one. Yeah, that took our picture earlier. Your performance will be graded S rank, A rank, that sort of thing. There ain't no shame in having a low rank, so just have fun. Ah, the stars, charmed, will be your boss encounter. Here's a little romantic forecast for you. The weather always sticks together. Tonight's weather is drop. I don't know what that means, but that's okay. Chris, love, let's catch up in the green room. So, any ideas on how that can be TV Guy's second in command? Love this guy. Everyone got their snacks and drinks? Once the show starts, there will be no bathroom breaks. Yeah, like what's dropping? Like the temperature, raindrops, snowflakes? The ground beneath us? Are we all ready to begin the show? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a slightly early ad break because they are coming up soonish, and I would prefer not to be interrupted amidst this chaos. So, gonna start an ad break early. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back soonish. All right, BRB. Okay, welcome back. Time to lock in. All right. I forgot to start the music on the BRB screen. My bad. Terrible streamer. All right, let's go. Great, Mike. Hit it. I'm a little nervous. Quit messing with your ears. We're about to be on. Would everyone please give a warm welcome to today's star contestants. All right, I'm a software developer by day, and I'm just so curious about the program, the amount of code just for the dialogue box in these games. The dialogue box and the you know, bullet hell combat stuff, it's got to be a lot. And it just gets more and more impressive every episode, every game. Hi, Hero. Everybody say hi to Hero. Yeah? Wanna lay down? Okay, we'll let him adjust. He went to the vet today. He's a little, you know, he's still recovering. Yeah, right, Trainer? Like, it's one of those like deceptively complicated things, right? Like to the player, it's just a text box, right? But like, we know we know the pain and suffering that can go into a simple text box. Buddy. Aww. What a good kitty. Good kitty. I'll let him make some biscuits there. Oh! Everyone, please cheer their names! Oh, he's gone. We jinxed it, lady. Said kitty cam, and he was just like, nope, nope, do not perceive me. We were blessed. We were blessed for those few seconds. He'll be back. I believe it. I'm optimistic. All right. Contestants.
Let's go.
You fully understand. Same. I mean, we what can we do? We are here at their pleasure and nothing else. Your names, please. Sorry, you've only got 3 letters to work with. Oh, good lord. I'd give you 4, but the censors would kill me. Okay, but what if... Right. Yep. All right, now for the introductions. First up, Prince from the Dark and 3-time accidental Fluffiest Pet Contest winner, Ralsei. Next up, Chris's friend, Monster Maniac, and where did you wreck those pants? Susie. We had the same thought. Susie? Hey folks, looks like the censors are gonna kill me. Oh, amazing. Only on this show because they weren't blue enough for the splurfs. Chris. Chris, I knew I could count on you. That is amazing. Now that we've all been improperly introduced, Mike, the board, please. Ooh. Today's game show will be a virtual adventure through TV Desert. Each of you will use our cutting-edge proprietary controller pads. That is an amazing-looking device. To control fantasy versions of yourself in a world so real, you'll forget it's not. On your quest, you will fight battles, quizzes, gain points, and maybe learn to love each other a little along the way. Now, don't touch that dial, and don't stop those smiles, because... I'm so pleased I don't have to narrate every piece of dialogue in this game. Love the music. TV time, The Legend of Tenna. Chris, only you... Okay, our state-of-the-art adventure. Hey, I can move. Cool. Oh, wait, how do I... Oh, we're all playing. Okay, we're playing a Zelda. That looks like crap. Susie, it's cutting edge. Okay, incredible. Well, can I finish reading the manual? My bad. No, for your adventure awaits. Incredible. Just down that hole. A hole, huh? That's original. Oh, no running. Oh, there we go. There we go. Welcome to Desert. Talk to me for hints. All right, well, we're going to go into the shop first. Need healing in battle? Try our in-game purchases. How do I kill this guy? Get in the line, kid. We have exactly enough points to buy dinner. We do not have enough points to buy a key. So, there you go. You bought TV dinner. Feel free to use it in battle. Buy more later. Okay. It's locked. Gosh, what do we do? Welcome to the board game board. To win the game, enter the pyramid and face the final challenge. However, the way is locked by 3 keys and Mooncloud Stone. Good luck! Where's the shut up button? Sorry, kid, that's premium. God, it's like a Game Boy game. That's what this is. Oh. Okay, we're getting points. We're helping each other out. Oh, my oasis! My oasis! With a sunny moon reflected in the water. This is the perfect forecast for love. Great performance, El Nina. Oh, my oasis, my oasis. With her soft clouds reflected in the water. This is the perfect forecast for love. The oasis is sparkling. Drink it? Yes. It tastes like mint and sand. Could be worse. Your wounds were healed. Enemy, careful, brave heroes. All right, that's it. It's a battle scene, folks. And our boys backstage have been begging to beat you down. But this ain't your normal Saturday night slam fest. Perform well and you'll get extra points. For best results, take no damage, win fast, and get gobs of TP. Okay. Light them up. Dance, don't get hit. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Shadow Guy gains mercy until you get hit. Oh. Oh, okay, that was spicy. All right, we're gonna spare him. Right. Okay, oh wow, we need to recruit 25 of those guys. Ow. Our heroes score a spare, but where's the strike? Right. Okay, I think we'll just defend and we pacify. There we go. Alrighty. We did it. Okay. You won. S rank, 293 points. We can buy one of the keys. Okay, that's pretty great. A rousing battle. Mike, give them a free tube yogurt. All right, let's head back. We're just going to go ahead and buy that key outright. You got key 1. All right. Are you crying for a buying? Yo, trader. Thank you for the 28 months, my friend. Appreciate you as always. Dang, 28 months. Again, the implacable march of time comes for us all in the end. See that line in the tension bar in battle? Win the fight with TP above the line to get S rank. By the way, I heard you can defend to gain TP. Noted. It's a beautiful little spring. What does that do? This is the reservoir for the oasis. And in the oasis is a secret stone. Oh. Interesting. Well, none of these X's do anything. Very curious. Alright, let's go this way. Can you solve the puzzle of desert? No, eating yogurt. Chris, perhaps we can use that block? Oh. Chris, stay still. Ow. Open your mouth, idiot. Uh-oh. Why couldn't I do that? Wow. A 26S time. That's concerning. Okay, well, I'm confused, but alright. Watch it. Falling rocks. Chris, I'll protect you. No, Ralsei, no! Whoa, what is that? Susie got the power croissant. She can now pick up pots and weeds. Hell yeah. Finally, some goddamn gameplay. Watch what you're throwing. Ow. Hey, watch this. I'm drowning. Ralsei plush, fill him with liquid, throw him against the wall. Stop advertising me, I'm dying. God, what is this game? Quiz Vortex, watch out. Ah, okay. What time is it right now? It's TV time. That's exactly right, folks. Way to start this quiz with a bang. Brand of values this Ralsei at $8. What's the true value? Costs $32. What's Chris's favorite food? Pie. Oh no! Who can resist your mother's homemade pie? Nothing better than chowing down with the family in the warm, warm glow of your favorite holiday specials. Right here on TV Time. Now let's see those results. We'll take it. Decent. Oh, you got a Q. Oh. I am the Lost Pippins. On behalf of the toys you lost in the couch, a secret. The cactus that lived upstairs loves you. Aw, it has a key underneath it, so please push it aside. Interesting. Elsie, what are you? Or no, not Elsie, Susie. How are you finding these keys or these points, whatever these are? Hey, folks, it's Sphinx Tenna. Answer my riddle, and I'll give you one key. Is what I would say, but you see, it's a bit embarrassing. See, I'm missing my cues. Bring 2 of them here, and I'll quiz ya. Know what else you're missing? Watch. Hey, that's croissant misuse. I'm missing my cues. Bring 2 of them here and I'll quiz ya. Okay. Alright. We have 1. I am the Lost Pippins. On behalf of the toys you lost in the couch, a secret. There are 4 keys in all, though you just need 3. That's interesting. Help! Help! I'm stuck in the spiny sea of green. Won't anyone free a poor innocent boy? Can I throw something? Throw me. Got it. Oh no. Ow! Ho ho ho! You have rescued me! I will give you everything I have. And all I have is myself. Is there something he can dig? I think so. Interesting. There were things he could dig. Was that here? No. Now I gotta find those dig spots. Oh. Puzzle 2! Get ready for a long one, folks! Okay, can you guys solve it? I don't appear able to do anything. Oh. Okay. No. Oh, that's gotta hurt, folks. Don't worry, Chris. According to the manual, I have a special ability. If there's no blocks to push, then push me. Oh, it's beautiful, folks. What a weird game. We did it. Ow, don't touch the cactuses. Sure. Okay, here's another one of the quiz thingies. What is the name of this show's host? That's me, folks. Okay. What is the highly memorable heading of TV Time? Oh, no. Oh, I don't know. Oh! Wow. Mike, can we cut that one from air? Mike? What's the name of this kid? Seriously, I don't remember. It's Lancer. It's Lancer. Easy. Interesting. His name is Lancer. Pretty good. Pretty good. I got another key. Okay, we can get another key now. We can remember the way back, which is questionable. This is... Oh. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, well, it's fine. Hit that funky music. It's fighting time. Everyone gets ready to knock the enemy's hats off. Oh. Oh, wow. Ow! It's gonna be a heck of a slugfest, folks. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's probably fine. Mm-hmm. 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 Everybody's dancing. Oh my lord. Okay. Fair. Pacify. Okay, we did it. Heck yeah. Okay, 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 okay. Ow. Okay, okay. We can do this. Healing berries. Right. Defend. Pacify. Nice. Okay. Okay. A rank. Boo. Okay. I think the Sphinx is up here. Wow, you got 2 Qs just for me? Oh, that's much better. Now that I'm dressed, it's a quiz to the death. Oh no! Apparently you made this awful thing, except for the legs. Okay. No. Rousey. What's the name of this awful guy? Oh no. Pippins. It's Pippins. It's Pippins. What was Asriel's favorite character in Smashing Fighters? Oh no. Oh, okay. Phew. He got embarrassed about liking the green dinosaur and switched to being a big fan of the fiery magician girl, which is maybe its own type of embarrassing, but anyway, on to the results. Okay. I wonder if the questions are randomized in each playthrough. Well done. For you, that knows a nose. Oh. Okay. All right. Key number 2. Oh. Okay. Nostalgic, my old watering hole. Oh, I need to find... Yeah, let's drink up. Okay, all healed. There were dig spots. Now I don't remember where they are. Not here, clearly. As a reward, a bonus zone. Hey, we got a budget. Okay, delightful. Oh. I don't know what these do. Oh, you discovered a secret mailroom. Okay, into the secret mailroom we go. 10 years of fan mail are past this door. Ready? Mike, open up that door. Ah, there's no mail. Mike, get rid of that room. We don't need it. We haven't gotten any mail. It's fine. It's all fine. We don't need a mail guy. Sorry, buddy. Damn, dude. I never got fan mail either. I'll rate you some, Susie. Okay, I'm gonna head back to the beginning. Because I know that weird room is somewhere nearby. Not weird. The one with all the dig spots. Yeah. Hmm. Aha, found it. Ho ho ho! L marks the spot. I'll dig up a treasure for you. How's that? A key for you. As a bonus, I blocked the water from flowing. Bye now. So now we can't heal. Love that. Okay, we have all 3 keys. But there's apparently one more. He's backstage with the controller just like everyone else. Don't touch the cactuses. Oh, we're gonna touch them. What happens if we die? What the? You actually lost? We can't have that on TV. The show must go on. You're gonna continue right where you left off. Well, except for a little punishment. I will be taking some of your points. Okay, well, that was more than a little, but okay. Okay. I just wanted to find the extra key is all. How do we get down? Interesting. Did we come down here? Yeah, we came down here. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. Oh. Man, it'd be cool to have, like, a weapon. Oh, you clonked the oasis. You dare end our season of love? I predict a lot of pain in your future. This battle has a special win condition for our contestants. All you have to do is say, I love to watch TV 99 times and you'll win. Let's hear it. I love TV. Oh boy. Tonight's weather is moon crystals. These two are a professional power couple. Nothing can stop the weather. Okay. Sun drop. Okay. Right. We just do this for 10 minutes, I guess? Lenino, your pose. Right. Just, they kept choosing me for the act. Any cool reason why? Not to rain on your parade, Amore, but it's probably just because you're first in the order. Right. You're right as rain, sweet cloud of mine. So, whose attack did you like better just now? What the? Don't ask that. Obviously it was mine anyway, right? Pick. Oh wait, I don't even know which one is which. Rain, rain, go away. Isn't that how it goes? Hey, is it me or is it getting hot in here? Oh my lord. Everyone said I love TV to Lenino. Today's weather is extra dextra moon. Oh lord. Okay. Oh god. Ow. Okay. It's fine. It's normal for couples to fight sometimes. Come on, Chris, tell him. Yes. Oh lord. Oh no. Oh no, this seems bad. This seems bad. Not me running directly into it. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, that was terrifying. They said they said they liked your attack once. Aren't we partners? You should be happy for me, sweetheart. Listen, you two. The weather always sticks together. Shut up. Sorry, I just wandereth in here. Are those two single? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Heals 100 HP. Okay, yes, we want that from me. And Rude Buster. Rude damage. I don't know what that means. Uh-huh. Nice. It's nice I finally get to shine on my own, you know? Instead of just being behind the clouds. Any Darkner can do a rain attack, but a moon attack eclipses your heart. Incredible. Ow, ow. Ow. You really think anyone can do a rain attack? Fine, I get it. I'm just raining on your parade. Goodbye. Awkward. Who needs a wet blanket like her anyway? One weather's better than two. Ha! Less confusing for the kids. Ha! No one damping my vibes now. Time for the sun to be the star. You are a star. Oh no. It's okay. I was gonna say, are we just not getting hit? El Nina? Oh. Oh no. What have I done? I'm nothing without her beside me. Our oasis of love. I made it into a desert. Wow, looks like we are out of time. Okay, battle's over, folks. See you later. You won. Somehow. A rank. I'll take it. You got the Mooncloud Stone. Yay. But what about the last key? Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, can I just... Interesting. Right. Well, okay. I'm gonna hurt myself again. Because I'm pretty sure it said there's a key under a cactus that you push aside. Uh-huh. Ow. Okay. Oh no, how do I use my healing? Oh look, that one's got a... I knew it! I knew it! Ow. Okay. Okay, we're gone. We're gone. Okay. Oh. All right, well, I'm sure we haven't found everything, but we have found most everything. The door's open. What are you talking to me for? And here you can see. Enter the giant pyramid tile to enter. Can we get a save point? That would be so cool right now. This is it, your final test. Behold, the door to the physical challenge. So that's where that goes. Beyond this door lies the physical challenge. A grueling encounter that will test all of your skills. Are you prepared for the worst? Sure. Yeah, okay, I guess. And so our contestants have spoken. What may be their final words? Kids, cover your parents' eyes. Because after this, there's no turning back. What the hell did you do to us? Ha ha! Cool your burners, folks. Today's physical challenge is the cooking channel. Oh man, is this gonna be like an overcooked minigame? Oh, okay, that actually makes sense. Chris, your mother used to love cooking shows, didn't she? Oh, how she laughed glowingly along with each new recipe, feverishly taking notes on each step to make them for her family. As you and your brother pretended the chefs were bungling the simplest parts. Darn, I overcooked the water. Oops, no, I keep breaking the eggs. Oops. That sure was fun, wasn't it? Now, are you ready or what? Instructions, please. Here are the instructions for the challenge. Food is falling. Chris, catch the food on your head to stack it up. Throw it to customers with A. If the food touches them, they'll gobble it up. Special customers will sometimes appear. They're worth big points, don't miss them. Susie will probably cook burning fire. Jump over it with B. Missed food will also turn into burning fire, so be careful. Big stack, big points. But you'll move and jump slower. Be careful. Last until the end to win. But if the popularity gauge runs out, it's game over. Now don't touch that dial or that fire. Because... Yeah. Yeah. Oh god, okay. Oh! Okay, well... Ow! Ow! I don't even know what my health bar is. Ow! Okay. Ow. Ow. Okay. I'm not good at this video game. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Ow. Ow. All right, we are doing bad. We are doing real bad. It's not looking good, folks. That's it. we probably didn't do great. Well, would you look at those smiling customers? They're happy as yet to be cooked clams. And Prince, you're just as happy, aren't you? You remember how fun watching cooking shows was too, don't you? So did we win? What do you think? That was the most unforgettable show in primetime. Mike, show the results on the board. Oh boy. Hey, hey. We love an S rank. Look, Chris, we won, we won. Whoa, it's over already? Damn, we were just having fun. See you next episode, everyone. Weird. The credits are rolling. Oh, man. Stop, stop, stop. It can't be over already. No. The funometer's still only at 80%. Huh? Ah, you see, that was just round 1. There's more than one round? Of course, there's 2 rounds. 2. You haven't ever heard of a game show with just 1 round, have you? No one except grandmas really even watch. Exactly, it's preposterous, outrageous, it'd be bad TV. And trust me, I know TV. Well, I guess we were having fun. Yeah, we can play another round. Can we change Susie's name, though? Great, and now, a word from our sponsors. A word. This place is... How do you like my green room? It'll take some time before round 2, so relax and enjoy. Okay, well, we are going to save, because that was a lot. Stars ripple on the walls like soft music. You're filled with the power of relaxation. All right, sick. Hi, Lancer. Susie, other people, you look so cool gaming. Lancer, you're here for real? Not real? Hey, wait, if you're in this dark world, aren't you gonna... Don't worry, I still got some time before I petrify. Meanwhile, I got a job at the gaming factory. I got my own gamepad and I've only broken it 4 times. Now I gotta go press buttons for pennies. See you in the funny stages. Oh, Lord. All right. Hello. Hey, Chris, you and Asriel took me home from school, remember? The Rudins? Pretty sure you lost them somewhere, and I mean really lost. Points to items. Use the vending machine? Sure. It's a vending machine. Oh, we can talk to it. The vending machine did not respond. That's fair. Got TV dinners, got deluxe dinners, a lodestone. Gain more TP from bullets. Interesting. And a fragrant armor. Okay, well, we'll give that to Chris and Rousey. Oh, right, it was this. It was this. Okay. Oh. Uh-huh. Okay. Yep, okay, let's see what else we can buy. Classic meal for big shots. 140 HP is how much it heals for. I don't know, that almost seems like overkill. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, maybe we'll just grab a couple more of these. Okay. Chris, Bingham job getting S rank, love. For that, a little prize. Oh. Pink ribbon was added to your armors. All right, let's check it out. Hey, Mestrix, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Graze area. Increases the range at which bullets raise tension. See, that seems kind of nice, to be honest. Probably not, Amestrix. Despite the community member here who desperately wants me to, I have yet to do any of the secret bosses. I am basically just playing through the story, and that's about it. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess, sure, why not? Why not? Oh, that's better. Okay, yeah, we'll give you that. Maybe a future playthrough. Yeah, maybe. We've been talking a lot as I've been going through this series. Like, this might have been in Discord, but how much of this game apparently relies on knowledge of like the genocide route of Deltarune, or of Undertale, sorry. And I didn't do the genocide route. I wasn't super interested in it, and now I'm confused by things that I've been told would make more sense if I had played the genocide route. Oh, you three, it's me, Elnina. Oh, I just got her name, Elnina. Okay, that took me a minute, but okay. Oh, you don't need to know anything about in Undertale. Interesting. I'm not doubting you, but that does contradict what I've been told, which I just find that actually interesting that I've been told two completely different things about the game, and I suspect that they're both true, actually. Just helps you understand some small references. Yeah. What I've been coming down on is that I like these games, but I haven't gotten into them enough to like want to go super deep on the lore or like do every playthrough or find every secret, that kind of thing. So we're gonna do chapter 3, of course, is what we're doing now. We're gonna do chapter 4, and then I'll just wait for the next one to come out, and I probably won't play it again until then. So, but I'm guessing you've played these a lot, like you've done the secret bosses and stuff. I've never felt more moisturized. The single life's never felt this cool and collected. Ask me about anything. Lenino. Oh, Lenino? Well. My sunshine is gone. My brilliant sunshine. Oh no, like bye. Everything reminds me of him. Everything. The nighttime, the daytime. I saw a big wheel of cheese and I thought it was his face. Without him to balance me, my only forecast is rain running down my face. You're a super fan? Yeah. No, the person who was telling me about the genocide route, I would also qualify as a super fan. So, no, I love that. I love that people love these games so much. You're strong and independent. That's right. That's right. I'm the wave, aren't I? I can weather any storm myself. We'll see how far he gets without me to do his makeup. Thanks, Chris. You're a real cucumber, you know? Not a cool one, but I don't know what that means. Is that a compliment? Who can say? You draw and cosplay these characters? Hell yeah. Who do you cosplay? Tell me about your costumes. You want to talk more? Shh. Let's do it in the dressing room. It's a cactus, but not the real thing. Is anything real in this world? Rousey, would you lick an old screen? Depends. What's on TV? Spamton? That's a great choice. I love that. You plan to do his Neo version next, and you'd love to do a Tenna cosplay at some point. Fantastic. I've been delighted by the 3D and VHS aesthetic in this chapter so far. Never mind. You don't get it. I don't get it. What are we talking about, Susie? Exclusive changing room for S rank players only. Hey, that's me. That's like a bathroom, right? We'll just go play games. Oh, okay. But we all earned this S rank together. Oh, it's you. Let me check if you're on the guest list. Oh. I don't know what the weird route is. What's the weird route? Tell me about the weird route. I see. S rank on board 1. Please enjoy our luxury facilities. Yeah, no, that's spelled right. I just can't read. Somehow I expected this rundownedness. Ah, Chris, look at you. A dressing room big shot. Cheers, cheers. So how do you fancy the game then? Righto, it ain't much in it, love. Now, I knew you wouldn't like it. I knew, so listen up. You see that game you've been playing? It's not exactly the original. Old Tenna's done a little something here, a little something there. It made the whole adventure some big old blasted line from A to B. Primo, boring stuff. This is the secret boss stuff here, actually, but I think you're too late to do the whole thing because you have to come back. Oh, I see. But if I know Chris, and boy, do I know Chris, that's not what you want in it. Freedom, that's what you want. Well, if I can go hush hush for a minute here. Chris, love, that's what we got backstage. The original game, where you decide what to do. All right, enough explaining. More gaming. I'll keep an eye out for Tenna. You go have some real fun, all right, love? There you go. And I'm sure you know, but secret to Tenna, right, love? Okay. Weird route is essentially this game's genocide route, but you don't like calling it that because it's less a genocide, more of a manipulate everyone around you and be scum of the earth in general. It has some really cool shit in it and some interesting diversions from the main path and really specific ways to trigger it. Got it. Yeah. Kind of like I was saying, like I've kind of just been playing through the story, and just do like the TV slot members discount. Interesting. Oh, a smile for free. Aw. Yes, please. It's mild. Exchange money into points. Oh, where did I get all this money? All right, somebody who's good at math. Is the 50 to 10 points route the actual best exchange? I feel like that's the best exchange, but I'm bad at math. No, well, no, 50 would get you... 250 would get you 60, so that's better. Yeah, no, this is best. This is best. Okay. All right. Good enough. Actually, we'll just wait. Okay. All right, so what's in here? It's a game system. Looks like this is where all the characters in the board play. Oh. The controllers and system are all locked up dentist office style. I don't even know what that means, dentist office style. As a dedicated fan of this game, you'd always suggest do bonus content like Weird Route and Secret Bosses, because to you, that's the best experience, but right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Happy to have you in stream. Thank you. Looks like a game console. Play it? Yes. Yeah, no, I've heard stories about the Undertale fandom. Um, yeah, no, I'm pretty set. Oh, hello. Seems there's a controller falling on the ground. Yeah, let's pick it up. Odd controller added to your key items. Yeah, no, thankfully, even if somebody did come in and was annoying, I would not not let them change my course. But I appreciate the self-awareness of the fandom. Act 1 schedule. Various names and times are written under it. Act 2 schedule is scrawled underneath in red pen. Curious. You know, I think the worst backseating I've ever gotten in this stream is actually when I played Clair Obscur. I expected it in Dark Souls when I played that on stream, and I don't think it ever happened. But Clair Obscur, that's when the backseaters came out. That was interesting. I wasn't expecting that, especially because it was a new game. It's like it just came out. Why are y'all backseating me? No controller. Gasp. Oh, that's unsettling. Fortnite? Really? Okay, well that's hilarious. Fortnite. I mean, to be fair, I've never played Fortnite, so there's like a million different things about that game that I would not know if I ever tried to play it. But still. Chloe, is that you? Okay. Friends. Yes. Yeah, we mostly stream story games here. We did stream World of Warcraft the other week. That was kind of a random thing. Yeah, you just like the challenge run stuff. Yeah. Okay, so all right, we have a sword for some reason. I'm not gonna attack these little guys here, because that just seems mean, you know? Oh, but, well, All right, let's, cut these down? No? Man. Curious. Oh, no more falling rocks. Hey, thanks for the follow, Aimstrix. I think what I actually want to do here is just leave. No. I don't want to attack anybody. Can I leave this? Let me out. Become stronger. Jeez. Yeah, that's unsettling. Chris, put the controller down. Alright, Aimstrix, how do I get out of this? Do I have to kill our little friends? I don't wanna. Just living their best life, you know? Oh, man. Okay. Alright, our level of violence is going up. Hate that for us. The music stopped. Oh, it's getting bad. It's getting real bad. Oh, God. Yep. getting bad. Sorry, buddy. The flowers are shooting at us now. Ow. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Uh-huh. Okay, we're just gonna ignore them. Okay, can we cut these down yet? No. Ow. Interesting. Ow. Ow. Oh, oh no, I lost the health. Oh, okay. Serves me right, honestly. We just had to like get to level 3 and then, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just murdering everybody, I guess. Did Undertale teach me nothing? Gotta find that last enemy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ow. Oh, okay. Aha, here we go. Okay, level 3. You never... That's so interesting. That's so interesting. So you started with Deltarune then, basically. Yeah, I mean, Undertale's came out a long time ago at this point, so I guess that makes sense. Can we kill these now? Oh, yes, we can. Okay. Oh. Okay, we're playing a whole new game now. Okay. Have you ever played any of the older, JRPGs that these games are sort of inspired by? Ow! 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 Oh, hey, we got ads starting, so... BRB, I guess. Max. Okay, well, this is probably going to go poorly for this. Okay, we're back. Well, okay, did we go this way? Am I a true monster? I think I might be. Yup, sure are. Okay. We are scouring the earth of all life, it seems. Oh. Huh. Wait a second. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ow. We just there's no game. There's no game left. We've broken it and broken ourselves and broken everything. Huh. Very interesting. Okay. It wouldn't let me out earlier, which is, again, very interesting. I believe we did this. Yeah, we did. Oh, there we go. Oh, funny. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Wild. Oh my god. You got the ice key. Can't move. Can't do anything. Just creeped out. Holy crap. I hated that. That was so unsettling. All right. All right. All right. All right. Well, now I feel bad about everything. Hey, hey, looks like you rolled an S rank. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Actually, I've heard there's an even higher rank for true TV lovers. Yeah, there's probably an SS rank. More like TV losers. Who wants to get that? Yeah, well. Oh my. My bad. My bad. My bad, bro. Who beeth? Who beeth? If you wanted mine autograph, get a thin line. I hope I can get an autograph. You weren't a Deltarune fan first. Technically, you played Deltarune first, but you're actually an Undertale kid back then. You know, it's kind of hard to get, but you never, having played the game yourself, did not stop your love and adoration and knowledge. You knew everything. You had 2-3 sketchbooks, nice, filled with just Undertale. Made cosplays and was incredibly integrated with the community and watched Let's Plays. Yeah, okay, got it. When I was a little kid, I drew Sonic the Hedgehog. I was such a Sonic fan. Me and a friend mailed Sega our ideas for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 back in the day. This was when only Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 were out. Months later, we received a package in the mail from Sega with a very nice letter saying, "Thank you, we love you, but we legally cannot accept your ideas for a game." And they included a couple t-shirts, one for each of us, which was pretty great. You actually bought the game back during this hyperfixation, but gave up because you were a kid and thought the combat was too hard. Kind of funny now that now that you've been doing some of the hardest stuff you can do, fight-wise in Deltarune. Yeah, no, that's great. That's cool. Oh yeah, no, and I'm so sad I don't have that shirt anymore. We had a dog at the time, and like, she got a hold of it and just ripped it to shreds. I was so upset. But it was a white t-shirt. It had a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 logo across the front. I was very, very happy with that t-shirt. Someone from behind the curtain pushed you away. You felt something spiny stuck in your hand. You got the Saber 10. Probably a weapon, I would imagine. It sure is. You know, just last year I tried the Knights game, I think the first one, and I bounced off it so hard. I was just like, I don't understand what I'm doing. Welcome back, Chris. What the hell took you so long? I was trapped in a video game. I'm playing games. Really? Hey, maybe we should play too next time. That's okay, I'm not really good at games. Yes, you are, Rousey. Anyway, let's hurry up and get the hell out of here. Board 1 S rank. Okay, this... Well, this feels like the way forward, but I'm not sure. Sell, sell, swell. You felt glad. Select an object. Oh, good lord. Select an object. Very interesting. They try to play it like they got to beat the level fast, but it's more of a score-based time management game. Yeah, and there's also just a lot going on. That's the thing. And like, I'm sure, like, well, I would hope that the manual is included with the game on Steam, but I never checked. But that's clearly a game that you're like supposed to read the manual to know what to do, because, you know, just like playing Sonic 1 or 2, you know? Because yeah, otherwise I was just flying around and then I was falling and or something. I don't even remember, honestly. Welcome to the ABC Rank Rewards Room. How may we assist you today? My rank, my rewards? On the previous board, you earned rank S. You're a star. This means you can use door A, B, and C. We also recommend checking out our star changing room. Look in the S door in the green room below. Enjoy. We did that. Yeah, that makes sense. Get a little sip of water. Oh. A strong aura emanates from the water cooler. Well, dang. Don't say, oh god, the water cooler. Don't say that. Oh no. You checked the water cooler. The water was confirmed to be cool. Susie puts cups on Rousey. Rousey cleans Susie's spill. Oh man. Bubble. Oh, I hate this. I hate this. Oh my god. Ow. Ow. Oh no, I see what's happening. Okay, well. Right. Beg for mercy. Mm-hmm. The water cooler showed none. You thought of some better, different acts to try next instead. Oh boy. Bubble. Oh, I hate this. Hate this. I think I'm starting to get it though. Okay, okay. I think I get it. Act cool. We can flirt with it. Everyone chatted around the water cooler. Aw. Bubble. Oh god. Yeah, no, I have the right idea, but my execution is lacking considerably. Bubble. Ow! Ow! Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, we just need one more. Ow. Okay. What does this do? Okay, no. I think that's right. No. There we go. Okay. Now we spare. Okay. Hey, we did it. We did it. First try, baby. You won. That was weird. It's a crater. Inside was 200 points. Hell yeah. Water is scarce. Wars will be fought. It's true. The climate wars are coming for us all. Ah, you're the kind of person that drinks from an oasis 8 times. Okay, is that like a personal attack? Like, should I be offended? The sign says Ball Machine User's Guide. Read it? Yes. Welcome to Ball Machine. Insert points to gain prizes. The minimum is 100 points. More points increase gold chance. Even if you miss gold prize, next time gold chance increases faster. Hit the gold prize, gold chance will reset, etc. Is all part of what it said on the side. Okay. 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 Oh. We're just gonna give all our money away. You need to have 1,225 points. Ah, alas. Hey. Blue ribbon was added to your armors. Play again? Absolutely not. Okay. What perchance can the blue ribbon do for us? Recover slightly more healing. Interesting. Interesting. Its shape is here. Okay. More healing. Oh, only. Okay, that's fine. Wait, okay, so what's the 1987 mean? I don't think I know that reference. I assume something in Undertale? Oh. Oh. Coming soon, it says. All right, so this looks like we can play that again. Hey, this here's an extra special game. It's locked. That is, unless you pay 500 points. Nah, I'm good. Seriously? A real gamer would pay any transaction. Okay, I'm gonna admit I have not played Five Nights at Freddy's either. So, not a true gamer, it turns out. Oh, hey, are you good? Thanks, Chris. You're a real cucumber. Okay, right. Yeah, I still don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Stars ripple on the walls like soft music. You're filled with the power of relaxation. Okay. You! Oh, wow. Hi. Don't tell anyone, but this little guy is my closest pal. Oh, that's sweet. Since the Pippins are rule breakers, we ain't supposed to be friendly with them. But this guy, he's real nice. Aw. One day when I accidentally broke the rules, this guy stood by my 6 sides. Since then, I decided to play fair. You know, if it helps this guy out. Oh, that's really sweet, you guys. Okay, points to items. Buy, sell, buy. A toxic axe. Weaklings can flex too, it says. Amazing. There's a black and white animation cell of Tenna on it. You said bye and left. Hey, bye. Alright, let's go through the red carpet. Oh, okay. Okay, hello? It's a lone door frame, but for some reason you can't see through it. Amazing. The couch cliffs, how purple and majestic they are. The dusty, the empty, such are the worlds, such as those. Okay. I'm just gonna assume that... Oh, okay, creepy. It's a poster. It doesn't have any words on it. I'm just gonna assume somebody's, you know, doing a poem in the shower there. Also... The Q stanchions are smiling at me. I don't know how to feel about it. It's a poster. It doesn't have any words on it. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Don't do anything funny. Mr. Tenna's orders. So when we're done, we go back through here. I see. Okay, we will do the extra mini game. We'll do it. I think we have the points for it. Okay, 500 points. Let's do it. You handed over 500 points. All right. Now that we've got those, now that I can read. Lock opening noise. It appears we've been bamboozled. Look at that, with just the locks all gone. Not a trace. You'd hardly believe it was ever there at all. Well, see ya. No refunds. Rip. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's the door to the mystery game. Let's play it. Welcome to Extra Game. Tonight, our physical challenge will be... Wait just a moment. I'm receiving an emergency broadcast. Tenna, my beloved. Oh god, we're in hell. Something massive has begun assaulting the city. Multiple buildings are up in flames. At this rate, everyone will be destroyed. This music is clearly a Final Fantasy homage. Can anyone please tell me who this monster is? Guess who, idiots? Lol. That's right! It's a giant monster movie starring Susie. That's Susie Zilla, chump. Aw, Susie, your costume is so scary. Obviously. Right, Susie Zilla will be our baddie-smashing, hyper-spinning star of the day. Miss Zilla, you were watching the Monster Marathon until you fell asleep. I was so happy to see someone so excited to tune in. So this final event's a special service just for you. And by all means, please, come over to Chris's and watch more TV anytime. This is vaguely disturbing in ways I can't really articulate. You don't even have to come in. Stand outside and watch me through the window. I won't tell anyone. The police will never know. Promise. Ha ha ha. So I do what? Kick your ass? No, no. Susie Zilla had a change in her TV-loving heart. She may wreck the city, but she'll protect me, TV statue, with her life. Or if the bad guys take me down, there's no more TV. Need any other instructions, or should we start the final match? Explain, please. Now, the rules are simple. Haters of true entertainment are constantly trying to kill me. Defeat them before they hit me and ruin my pristine sheen. Susie's okay to get hit, but if I run out of popularity, it's game over. Chris and Rousey control Susie via rope like an unwanted puppet. Spin the rope with A to smash anything and everything. That's it. You'll learn the rest on the job. Or else. Delightful. Now, all ready? Tail on tight? Taking your radioactive breath mints? Hell yeah, let's go. Okay. Oh, okay, all right. Kick a combo breaker. Oh no. Oh god, okay. Okay, more TV haters. Oh my lord. All right, that's pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Not a dozer, smack it from behind. Oh my god. Oh, it's getting crazy, folks. So many tennis balls. Who is responsible for this madness? I feel like this feels like a Kingdom Hearts minigame, is what this feels like. Mm-hmm. Okay, nice, 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 nice. You love to see it. It's paper mache, my worst hater. Kill him now. Oh god. Ow. Okay, this is a good mini game. This is a good mini game. Hey guys, they won, I said. This is so much better than a Kingdom Hearts minigame. You can stop trying to beat me up now. I'm not paying you guys for this. Aimstrix, did you ever play the Kingdom Hearts games? Okay, well, so much for that. No TVs were harmed in the making of this minigame. I feel like we did pretty good. Apparently not. Yeah, I'd be curious to know what you think. Mostly because of just the sheer weirdness that the story goes. I can't even point to anything in this series that is a direct analog, but if you like deep lore, Kingdom Hearts might be your thing. Yeah, no, Batshit Insane Story is exactly what Kingdom Hearts is. Okay. We continue. Oh. Hey, there's Tenna on stage over there. Maybe we could talk to him for a sec? You know, get some hints about the next board. Anyway, let's go. Okay. But wait. Chris, maybe we should let Susie go. And just watch from here. Okay. Like, chill with our eyes closed? Sure. Let's close our eyes and think about what she's doing now. Okay, well now I wonder what keeping your eyes open would do. Located in the Purple Cliffs? Perfect. Don't waste any time. You know what comes next. Assembly, air holes, soft, soothing music. Then we just need time. One more board. Just one more board, and then... Hey! Susie! Susie, sweetheart, my star contestant. Hey, how can I help you? Free toy ball voucher, refreshments, lifetime supply of non-gloopy slime? Just, wanted to say the games are pretty fun, I guess. They are? I mean, you saw when you interrupted us, but Rousey, he was being kind of weird earlier. I feel like this cheered him up. And me too. It's just been taking my mind off everything, I guess. Susie? Susie! You love his whimsical little spin. I've never wanted to hear anything more. I've loved putting on this show. I haven't had this much fun in years. Seeing real laughs, real smiles from an audience of more than one, it's a dream. Can't lie, I've been a bit alone until recently. I can relate, I guess. But hosting you and Lil Rousey has been an honor, even if you're a tad sassy. Hey, Chris was having fun too. Oh, yeah, Chris. Chris. Good old Chris, what a stinker. Yeah, what's going on with Chris? Why is he acting weird about Chris? Don't you like Chris? What the? Are you kidding? I love Chris. They were one of my original viewers. I'm just not sure if they love TV. Huh? Why wouldn't they? Hey, would you look at that? The next board's ready. It was great talking to you, Susie. Good luck out there. I do have concerns about Chris. I'm not sure his heart is in the right place. I believe it. I believe it, Aimstrix. Chris weirds me out. I'm not I don't know that I'm a fan, to be honest. So what the hell were you two doing? Trying to close eyes and think about Susie. Okay. Weirdos. You know, I thought he was a weirdo at first, but kind of not such a bad guy, you know, Chris? Just kind of lonely. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to it. Right? I knew you were actually having fun too. The kaiju minigame has been the best one so far. Chris, are we all ready to start round 2? Let's go ahead and save one more time. Just because I'm nervous. Okay. We are ready. We are actually one more sip of tea. Okay, we have finished off the tea. It was a good one today too. Okay, we do have water. Old card, how you doing? How's your Tuesday going? TV-tastic. Then let's rock and roll, folks. Welcome back, everyone, to the show that'll make you scream at your screen. TV time. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, the gushing pillar of darkness that gives us all form, Dark Fountain. Oh, I'm great, old guard. We're just experiencing this wacky game. Now available in Unsettling Obsidian and Pulsating Rainbow. Now, Mike, the board, please. Oh, it's a rainbow to a creepy castle. Slather on that sunscreen, everyone, because... Yeah, wacky. I was like trying to think of the right word to describe it, and I think wacky is about as good as you can get. Today's second and final board will be an aquatic adventure to a desert island. That's right, an all-expenses-paid trip to a beautiful tropical paradise. Ha! Wish I could go, but I'm just a big electric box attached to the wall. Oh, Mac, right! I was like, man, I know this name. I can't remember who it is. Thank you for reminding me, Mac. I'm just behind and slow. Okay, aim tricks, that's what I've heard. And like I had heard that chapter 3 is slapstick and 4 will like break your soul a little bit, so I'm ready. I'm here for it. Though I would look good with a tan. For this board's goal, you'll be aiming to enter the floating Atlantis Stadium. All right, interesting. I have liked every chapter more and more than the previous one, right? Chapter 1 was a good introduction. Chapter 2 was like the presentation and level of polish was way higher in chapter 2. The music has been good throughout, right? Like it's just gets better and better. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, that's perfect. This is bonkers. Bonkers would also be a good word for chapter 3. Wacky, bonkers, unexpected, but that's kind of a vanilla as far as adjectives go. Legend has it the best way there is our super high budget rainbow bridge. However, the rainbow only appears if 2 lovers meet at Lover's Cliff. It'll be insane to look back at 1, the production. I believe it. I believe it. By the way, don't forget to take lots of photos while you're on vacation. Oh, okay. Camera minigame. Now we're gonna have some real fun in the sun today, so don't touch that dial. Well, okay, you can touch it. Just be gentle, please. It's fair. Apparently, Mac. Apparently. Welcome to Coda Coda Island. All right, Rousey, turn into a surfboard. It can only be a block. Welcome to the island board. Atlantis awaits in the north, but you will need 2 lovers to unveil the Rainbow Bridge. Okay. It's the cool, funny, haha chapter before they kick your teeth in. Love that. Welcome to Coda Coda Shrine. A podium for holding a photograph. A podium. You might think, oh, a camera. You got the camera. Press A to take a picture. Chris, take a photo. Aw. Ha ha, that's me. Huh, guess it's okay if it's in a game. The most lighthearted chapter has the most serious creepy shit undertones with the secret boss stuff. No, that does sound appropriate. Cute selfie, Chris. Yeah, we'll call that a selfie. Can't you even pose? Very interesting. Take 3 grand photos to reach the ocean. Oh. Ooh. Hold on. Oh. A green geyser, just next door. Who can dig it up? Lancer, that's who. The red ant line under the ground. Fangs of youth, unearthed with a photo. A flower torn in half. I wonder who took it. The photo, I mean. A plant of spikes hides in the forest. It's no rose, but its horns hold love. Every rose has its thorns. Okay. Hey, buddy. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, we're still fighting. Okay. Mike, hit that funky music. It's fighting time. Cheat? Or bribe? Touch green for mercy. I don't... Okay. Uh-huh. The enemy gets tired. Who's the high roller now, idiot? Ralsei swore not to cheat. Okay, well, seems... Ow! Oh, God. Good Lord. Okay, no, we can't do that. Okay. Mike, fix the divorce. Bring the papers back. Oh, I need more TP. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. I got what you did. You're putting down. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes. Got him. Oh. Oh, no, I did it wrong. Yeah. I did it wrong. No, we did it. Okay. I just can't keep track of my own actions. Okay. We'll take a B. Binoculars. 10 points to take a view of Atlantis Stadium. Let's do it. Another pyramid? What? We have a budget to keep in mind, you know? What a ripoff. Oh. Okay. Sure. Okay. Well. That's fine. Ow. Hey. We did it? Question mark? Sorry, kids, no falling rocks today. Yep, that sounds right. A cracked wall? What can it mean? Moss on the wall. It was consumed. That's what it means. All right, because we love moss. We love moss. Okay, well, okay, all right, let's just be kind of thorough. Uh-huh. 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 Perpetuate the cycle. Always. Mac, how you been lately? How's life treating you? Huh. Looks kind of like the desert board. Oh. Oh, Tenant told me to wait here at Lover's Peak. They say when two true lovers stand side by side here, Rainbow Bridge to Atlantis will appear. But I don't think anyone's coming here for me. You know what that means, kids? Ralsei, get on the heart. We're gonna find you a lover. Ralsei doesn't count. Oh, man. A ripoff. Okay, it's fine. Alright, what are you? Oh. Oh no, the green spring is blocked up. Okay, well, guess we gotta find Lancer. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay, alright. So much exploring. Oh. Good deals, huh? Do I need a key? I don't know. Sure, why not? Aimstrix, you should always get a waffle at 1 a.m. Oops, I think I made an innocent mistake. Look, guys, I'm lost. I didn't mean to make a shop. Are we talking like a Waffle House waffle? An Eggo waffle? Like a homemade Belgian waffle? Like what kind of waffle are we talking about? Hi. -1. Oh. Okay, well. Out of the freezer. Solid choice. Hi. Okay, we gotta get to her. Hell yeah, go for it. Is it a plain or is it like a blueberry Eggo? Like what kind of Eggo are we talking about? Please buy this boy. He's making me lose my marbles. Hey. Okay, that's fantastic. You got Lancer. Oh, friendship shouldn't be bought. But if you have to, good, you did it dirt cheap. I'll be waiting in your items for some cheap dirt of my own. Dig, dig. Huh? I feel like I earned less than I thought. Oh, man. That's really good. Yeah, I think that's here. Right. Yeah, Lancer, let's go. Dig, dig, dig. Oh. Looks like I struck green gold. Take a picture for the ages. Ooh. Okay, one special chocolate chip waffle. I was secretly hoping that would be the one. Oh. What's going on? Okay. All right, where's to next? Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh. Oh. Okay, that seems easy enough. Touch the item to wear it. Susie, want to buy it? What? No way in hell. You look great. Oh, Susie, doesn't Chris look nice? Maybe for a second grader. Uh-huh. Oh. Looks like a puzzle. Leave it to me. She's come so far solving puzzles on her own without any input. Huh? My antennas are... Sorry, be right back, kids. And that's what we call character development. Oh. Should be easy for you, right? Look over there. Let's go, easy puzzle. Okay. Right. Ew, Chris, stop trying to hug Rousey. Oh. All right. Oh, I knew you could turn into a surfboard. Okay. Wait, I don't... Okay. Oh. What? What? Okay. Weird. Okay. Touch the item to wear it. Pizza deodorant for nerds. Hey, Rousey, it looks like Chris is trying to tell you something. Chris, you think I need, you know, I'm not exactly sure how I would even require that sort of thing. If it's for you, Chris. Hey, what the? Hey, wow, Susie wears ribbons? Chris, you dumbass, why'd you make me wear that? Make you? Take it off. Wait a second, your controllers are... Okay, I guess we're just doing this now. Susie, you can't use Chris's controller. Oh, man. Yes. They're all tired. They're all tired. Oh, ow. Hate that. Okay. No, this is fine. This is fine. I don't even know how many points we have. Actually, what if we just... Yeah, did that. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. This is fine. This is fine. Defend. Defend. Pacify. Okay, this is clearly the way we should have been doing this. Rousey looks directly at the camera when he asks, make you? I missed that. I love it, though. Oh, okay. Okay, defend, defend, pacify. Let's go. All right, sick. Fine, I'll fix the controllers. Thank you very... Wait a second. Susie, chase me back. Come on, just for a bit. It'll be fun. I don't know what she did. You can have a turn. Well, if Chris says it's okay. Okay. So, Chris, which way should I... You got the controller, you choose. This way seems nice. Oh, it does seem nice. Oh, a flower cut in half. This is a photo spot. Oh, girly. No, no, no. That ain't it. Rousey. Okay, yep. So good. So good. All right, that's 2 photos down. Yeah, sure, Aimstrix. Oh, it's fun just moving around. You know, you can do that whenever, right? I guess so. I'm just used to following. I'm not normally supposed to be a player 1. Rousey, you are always a player 1 in my heart. Nope, we're out of tea. Why did I take a drink of that? This is adorable. Oh, I was gonna say I'm not controlling anything, but turns out that's not true. Nice solve, Chris. Oh, bombs! I bet we could. All right, turns over. Worth it, she says. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's real good. Okay. Oh, we did it? Oh, good lord. It's heavily implied Ralsei knows about the player through stuff like that. The reason he wanted you to see what Susie was doing so bad earlier was because he wanted to speak with Chris alone. When you get back from that cutaway, you catch the tail end of a conversation. Oh, I did miss that. Interesting. One of these things is red, and I want to... Aha! Got it. Hey, all right. Pro gamer. If you refuse to see what Susie is doing, he tries his hardest to get you to go do it anyways. If you keep refusing, he just kind of awkwardly tries to converse. That's amazing. Okay, okay. Okay, all right. I love that. A cracked conch surrounded by washed up glass. Not a person seemed to want it. Listen to it? Absolutely. The sound of the ocean. A pity. It was just repeating all it knew. Okay. I think we just need the... I think we're done here, right? Like, we can go back to the ocean? Unless there's things we missed, but... Nice job on this puzzle, Chris. Hey, I got the throwing thingy. Cool, smells like nothing. Well. Oh. Curious. Alright, well, maybe we go through the stairs? Question mark? Touch the item to wear it. Okay, controller earned. You needed that. It smells like pepperoni. One of my favorite is it trope or just conceit in certain games is when they break the fourth wall. The Metal Gear Solid games do this. Honestly, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that comes to mind. But we love a fourth wall break. I'm back. I apologize to the viewers. He was gone for a while. Okay, okay. Wait. Okay, I love how she's just... All right, let's all three... But, you know, I'll be honest, I haven't really been noticing it much, Aimstrix. Because I'm just not observant. So I'm glad you pointed these things out to me. I haveth nothing. Okay. This is where we need to be. Yeah. Okay. 3 photos, a path opens. It's a magic raft. Okay. I figured we needed... Yeah, I figured we were gonna take this somewhere. Raft forth, unknown mysteries await you. The biggest tell though early on that isn't a secret boss thing is when Chris pulls out their well. Oh. See, I never tried moving it around. I thought it was just a non-interactive cutscene. Very interesting. Even I don't know what's this way. Hey, you two aren't supposed to be here. Oh, I feel like I need to sneeze. Hey, Chris, want to play money-making game? Here's the... Oh, man, the sneeze wants to come. Oh. Uh-oh, gig's up. Okay, the sneeze betrayed me. The sneeze betrayed me. Aw. well, this one seems different from the others. You found the Tropic of Love. It was the Sneeze of Betrayal and amazing. Oh, they floated away. Aw, farewell. Farewell and goodbye. Oh, the Tropic of Love. Anyone else think that's cool? Oh, okay, I didn't know. We could do that here. Anyone? I thought it was cool. But I'm not Chris, so I can't vocalize that to you in game, Mr. Tenna. Alas. Okay. I thought, oh, that's like the exact size of the photo thing. Okay, we got ads starting in a minute, so I'm going to take another quick break. We're probably going to play until we can find a save point, and then that will be it for the night. But this is not the end. So, BRB, don't go anywhere. I love you all. Hi. Hi, I did that to myself. Okay, sorry. Let me start over. All right. Aimstrix, I wanted to tell you because you weren't here earlier when we started. We're gonna try something new in the stream because, like you, there are folks here who are super invested. It's just part of the game. Because folks are super invested in my playthrough. We were streaming. I was only playing this game on stream, but I only stream like once a week, if that. So that meant that it takes a long time to go through these episodes, too long, and we were discussing how going too long between play sessions kind of brings down the experience a little bit. So what we're gonna try. I'm gonna put this VOD up on YouTube, which I don't normally do. I did in the past, and then I kind of fell off it. And then when I get a chance to play on my own, I'm gonna record it, subsequent play sessions, and also put those on YouTube. And that way, even though we didn't get chapters 1 and 2 on YouTube, we'll have these on YouTube for people who want to watch them. So chapters 3 and 4, we will put on YouTube, and that way folks who really want to see the whole thing can see it, and I can play through this at a quicker pace, and we'll hope for the best. So let me get my channel. There we go. Big shocker. That's the URL. So, right. Keep an eye on that, and if you're interested in seeing the rest of this Deltarune playthrough, I will do my best to get them up there as I am able. So, you know, the perils of being a streamer in your 40s with a day job means that, you know, you can only stream once a week, if that. So this is the compromise we have come to. You should have, Trader, and I should have made a command while we were on break, but alas, here we find ourselves. What? Oh, hey! Without the shine of love to guide me, my life is lost at sea, with the rain like tears, as salty as the ocean. What? You have someone to show me? Yes, close your eyes. Okay, I'll try anything once. You got El Nina. Okay, that is amazing. That's amazing. Also, uh-oh, the final photo, the 3 heroes. We did it. Fabulous. A mugshot of you 3 criminals. Oh no. No, Trader, the thing that cracks me up, I've never seen somebody have /YT as a command. Makes perfect sense, but I also think of it as the word white, because I see people use YT to refer to white people. So that's really cracking me up seeing you try that. You took my camera, took the moon, and even took the clouds. Now if you're going to be taking and taking, could you at least take a photo of me? Yes. Oh. I see you've met Shutta, our camera thing. Now, action. The white people command. I can do the white guy shuffle. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, let's go. Okay, that's enough of that. Easy photo, power photo, fast photo. Interesting. Okay, what we're gonna do is... Oh. Uh-huh. Is that? Okay, not in the mood for the photo shoot? Then how about I shoot you? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's mean. That's mean. Okay. Diabolical. Whoa. Smells like a dark room. Get it? Okay. Power photo. Let's go. Take a full body photo of anyone. A perfect shot. Don't know who wants it, but still. The brilliant photo. I can't believe it's your first shoot. Now, how about I shoot you? Okay, well, get one for funkiest home videos, folks. Okay, we do this. And then we... Okay, I don't know what that does. Okay, 5%. Okay, Ralsei's photo got overexposed. Oh no. My memory is photographic, phototastic. Want to see? Sure. Ow. Oh, Lord. Okay, can we... Okay. Power photo? Yep. All right, sounds good. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Easy peasy. The camera added 10 pounds of pure happiness to my teeth. Ooh. No, no, no. Oh. Evil. 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 All right. Lights. Camera. Camera. We're gonna do... Yeah. Okay. Lancer's tongue. No, 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 that wasn't it. Okay, well, that was on me. That was on me. Lancer, keep doing stretches to keep your tongue warmed up. Okay, too many tongues. Oh, God. Okay, okay, it's fine. Make memories you look back on. You can never listen. This is a family stream. No, it's not. Oh, tricky, tricky, tricky. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. Thank God. Okay. 74%. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe a making family stream. Am I right? See, that's how you know it's a real dad. It's a real dad making the dad jokes here. Oh man. A perfect shot, but we still TV Y7? Oh, you meant that kind. Oh my. Oh my. Put me down for my thoughts. And turn. No, I don't wanna. Okay, easy peasy. Easy peasy. Fast photo. I don't, maybe, we're gonna hope for the best. That was not it. That was not it. A little turn here. Uh-huh. You enjoy streamers whose entire bit is just, I'm your dad now. I can be your dad. Me? What? What? Who said that? one of two. Oh man, we gotta do it again. You won. We did win. Wind sounds kind of funny today. Wind's howling. 888. The end is close. Back to Lover's Peak. I do not recall if this is the right way. I think this is the right way. Yeah. There's gonna be a dock up here. Yes, there is. Binoculars. Look inside. Yes. Don't know what I expected. All right, let's go. I can. Okay, good call. Good call. Good call. Atlanta sure is beautiful this time of year. Sorry, nothing up this way, folks. See, it just loops. This part's unfinished. Go back. Mike, cut. Oh. Amazing. Phew, sorry, folks. Our contestants got a little lost. Oh, that's good. That's good. Speaking of Daddy, did y'all see that on the Call Me, or shoot, what's it called? Call Her Daddy podcast? Sarah J. Maas announced the next Akatar books are coming out soon-ish. Under construction. Keep out. Well, maybe you should have had these here earlier. Oh. Amazing. Aw, rip. That's okay. When I said explore, I didn't mean this much. Come on. I don't know if we have any Akatar readers here in chat, but you're really getting a kick out of this, huh? These look like Tetris blocks. Whoa, what's in there? Nothing. Ignore that. It's just leftover. Oh, how do I get there, though? Leftover? I mean, it's unfinished. Oh, interesting. So, it doesn't seem like I can get here? Alas. Okay. Remember what Ram said in the S-Rank room? I don't. I don't. Streamer coughing to death. No biggie. Oh, good call, good call. Right. Curious. Here we go. Oh, wait. Okay, we gotta go back to the dock. Very interesting. See, I think I like that you're just providing me the Easter eggs that I'm not gonna take the time to go find myself. All right, this is it, folks. Come out, you two. Oh. All right. Open your eyes. Wow, looks like your game characters are just about to meet. At Lover's Peak. Lanino, I'm sorry. Elnina, I'm sorry too. It's okay. We still love each other, right? Of course. I'm just sorry Oops! Duty calls! Gotta go, kids! Alright, so I'm very curious who keeps calling him. Someone nefarious, no doubt. I'll give them a little alone time. Whoop. I can't wait. I'm going to the next room. Oh, well, Nina, All right, let's go. No, not rules breaker. So you must be the X. Who the hell is that? I'm sorry. I thought we were. You didn't, so I. He said duty is calling. You're right. You're right. You're right, traitor. Let me saith. I know. I can readeth the room. Please, come hither. I don't thinkest thou two shouldst be apart. I think Rules Breaker's dialogue makes him my favorite character in the game. Yeah. Instead, thou shouldst be togetherer. With me? Oh, okay. We got a throuple situation going on. I'm down. Because 3 art stronger than 1. And he's holding up 4 fingers. Incredible. But there's 2 because, sure, 3 art stronger than 2. And many other numbers, etc., etc. Everyone in agreement? You'll be with me again if I... You'll be with me again if I... Yeah, okay, we get it. We good. Let's go. Cue Rainbow. Oh, Lord. Thous worms aren't the only battle throuple in town now. Oh, my God. What did he say? What? Oh, incredible. Yeah, no, he's... I'm back! On to Atlantis! Hey there, buddy. Why is this rainbow so impure? I know, it's not so much a rainbow as an uncomfortably pixelated tongue, I would say. Huh, seems pretty... I think it's time for a show. Hell yeah. Are you ready to rock hard? Can we rock soft? No, absolutely not. I listened to an album. Meekstra today. And the album description was like, it quoted her as saying, like, I really wanted this to be a rock band. I was like, okay, cool, rock music. It was like the softest album I've heard in a while. I was misled. So no, Rousey, we cannot rock soft. Oh, cool or glamorous? We'll go with cool. Lightners live, BB. That's right. Get out your lighters for the Lightners, ladies and germs. Because it's time for a crashing, banging, booming, crooning rock concert. Yes. Oh, Chris, remember December? Oh, that little musical prodigy? I don't know if I do remember December. Remember when she grabbed the remote and swap it from cartoons? To that wild music video channel Toriel forbid you to see? It's like when an album claims to be metal and it's Creed. Yeah. Basically, yeah, that's basically what the experience was. Guess your mother's never been a fan of alligators in bikinis. Des rocking her guitar and singing along with those nasty, nasty songs. December is Noelle's sister. She's missing. Okay. Didn't you all think she was just so cool? Heck, maybe you could get her to come back and watch again sometime. Just kidding. Anyway, are you ready to rock? Yeah, there are some sinister undertones to this chapter. Don't need instructions to rock, let's go. All right, sound checked, drums loud, boys fluffy. Oh, interesting, Aimstrix, interesting. All right. Rousey, got those lyrics ready? They seem a little inappropriate. Do I have to? Too bad. Now, audience, give it up one last time. Oh, the evil cough is back. I'm like, I should speak with less volume, and yet we're in a rock concert, so. Oh. Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Oh. Okay, we're in real focus mode now. Okay, no blinking. Oh. Not looking at chat. Oh, Lord in heaven. No! Oh, man. Man, we fucked it up at the end. That was great. That was amazing. They loved it. I'm starting to feel like a real rocker. Yeah, that was sick, though. Lucky I was carrying you guys. We barely passed. Seriously, are you serious right now? Yeah, nailed it. Kind of. The nail is bent, but we nailed it. Another fun fact, you were absolute ass at the cooking minigame, and the SusieZilla one, Tana literally told me to retry the cooking one 3 times because you were so bad. You got to this section, and I, the rhythm game player, immediately screamed, finally something I can do, and immediately T-ranked it first try. Incredible. Incredible. There's something for everyone in this game. Wow, looks like the band's already splitting up due to drama. That's how you know we've got a real winner on our hands, folks. Anyway, board's over. So without further ado, let's see those results. All right, all right, all right. I'll take it. I'll take it. Knew that moss would carry me through to the end. Hell yeah. Finally, the game show is over. Even if that concert was a bit rocky, playing music was fun. Yeah, kind of makes me think. We should have our own band for real. Hell yeah, Susie. Okay. Wow, folks. Looks like they've reached the end of our final board. All right, placing bets on if it is in fact the final board. It's sad to say goodbye, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. Duty calls after all. Mike, roll the credits. Stop! Breaking news! Due to your speed, fewer donations have been pouring in. We have met the special incentive. Board number 3, BB. Now that's a white guy shuffle if I've ever seen one. Incentive? The funometer doesn't lie. The viewers' voices are in. You've qualified for the bonus round. There's another round? I mean, yeah, it was fun, but we do kind of have an adventure to get back to. The Dark Fountain still needs to be sealed, too. Yeah, can we just pass on the bonus round? Pass? Pass? You mean stop playing? Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to. I mean, it was just gonna be a special board, but all right. Mike, tear down the board, tear down the set. Tear down my house, tear down my kids. Audience, you're gonna have to go home. Please, make sure to check out our gift shop. It's got funny whirly gigs. Tenna, we're sorry to depress you, but look, I guess if you really want us to play it, you'll play? Maybe just for a little bit? Hey, marvelous! Mike, rebuild the set! Rebuild my kids! We are gonna have a great show for you folks, the best ever! Can we change Susie's name yet? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No! And now a worm from our sponsors! Rules, no! Suppose we should get ready for the next round, I suppose. I'm fine as long as you want to keep playing, Susie. I mean, the last game was wicked fun, but get the feeling this will keep going until it gets old. Feels bad, but let's go tell him this time's gonna be the last, okay, Chris? When you say backstage, do you mean like back here? Like where these doors are? Oh my god, look at these 3. Okay, all right, got it, cool. Chris, bang up job getting S rank, love. For that, a little prize. White ribbon added to your armors. All right. Increases your cuteness. Love to see it. What do we have? Extreme. Oh, right, increases the bullet range. Okay, well, we don't want to get rid of the... I mean, cuteness is nice. We got a lot of ribbons. Oh yeah, we already have one of these. Wild, okay. Wild, okay. Look at Lancer. Susie, Blue Chris, I'm doing my hurricane attack. Want to help? Help or don't help, or pick him up. Oh, carry me, carry me. You picked up Lancer into your Lancers. Now put me down, put me down. You dropped Lancer from your Lancers. Okay, help or don't help. Obviously. Hell yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this. Hi guys. How goes the throuple? Haha, you 3 still aren't ready for the chef game? We already did that. What? Yeah, like on the first board. Where were you? Doing my freaking makeup? I mean, I knew it that, actually. Perhaps I just liketh wearing clothing on purpose. I'm sorry, what? Tell them, my lovers. Tell them of my glory. Elnina really sees a lot in him, so... And Lenino sees a lot in him, so... They're sayingeth I'm hot. Actually. Oh, nope. Okay. They're saying I am a hotteth. Nah, I'm like good. Okay. We're gonna call it there for the evening, everybody. The power of tessellation. Incredible. All right. So I'm gonna put the VOD for this up on the YouTube channel. And then next time I'm able to play, which I genuinely don't know when that will be, I will try to record it and probably have the same, you know, layout set up, doing the let's play thing. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Aimstrix. Nice to meet you. It was great having you here. Let's see who we can raid tonight. And okay. So I do not know yet if next week we'll be playing this or if we will be playing more sticks. Kind of depends on Arnium Havoc's schedule. So we will see. It's yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries, no pressure. I am not not gonna be weird about it, I promise. All right. Well, we're gonna go say hi to Aristotle. He just hit 500 followers. He's playing Final Fantasy 14, and it looks like he's doing the new variant dungeon. So let's go say hi to him. Heck yeah, here we go. Hope you all have a good week. Like I said, not sure yet what next week is going to be as far as games we're playing, but we will just see when we get there. So, all right, take care of yourselves. I'm gonna hit that read button. You'll send a DM to you. Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks, Trader. Thanks for taking care of that. All right, we're out of here. Love you all. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you hopefully very soon. Bye bye.